Hi guys, I'm doing one of these videos where I get these every once in a while, the feeling that I just want to say something about something. And, something that I've been hearing that's been going on. One of the things I've been hearing is complaints about the Ganzo G711. Not really complaints, but saying, well, complaints, yeah, that it's not a very good knife. It's poorly made, there's problems with it, on and on and on. And I think it could be that one of the early batches of the 711 by Ganzo was a bad batch. They didn't make it that particularly well. And it has to do with the access lock not locking up perfectly well, or not even perfectly well, I should say, not very well at all, that it would come unlocked a little bit too easily. And so I wanted to show you about that. I think this knife is really great. I also had somebody say that, wait a minute, this knife isn't that good for my hand size. It just doesn't fit. And this guy had extra large hands. And I was playing with this guy last night and I'm going, you know what? This really is a 3-finger grip, and then my pinky has got to ride up over there. And so while that's not really uncomfortable, it is a kind of unique grip, and I can see how a number of people might not like that too much. One of the things Ganzo used to do too much of was basically do a very close interpretation of another knife and make it very similar. And I think Ganzo needs to continue to think more on their own 2 feet and make their own designs. They're starting to do that more and more all the time. Kudos to Ganzo for that. But this knife, you've got a lot of room out here in front of this choil. And if they would have done something like this, talking about this section right here, if there would have been like either, not even a half and half choil, but either just a little choil, a little plastic spot, if this was rounded out a little bit right here so that you could choke up with your finger just a little bit further, make this choil a little bit smaller, make another little choil right there so that you could choke up to use this knife like this. Not only could you do a little bit more delicate cutting, but it would be very comfortable. The reason I'm saying it is because I actually find myself doing that. I put my middle finger in that choil right there, and I hold the knife like this, and I use it. I've got large size hands. I wear a large glove, and I use the knife an awful lot like that, and then my whole hand is very comfortable. So just an idea. If I put my index finger in that choil, it's way back here. But let's test this access lock. A lot of people are saying that once it's locked up, the access arm doesn't go far enough onto the tang of the blade, and so then it's too weak. One of the classic tests to see how good that is a spine whack test. Let me talk about the spine whack test just a little bit. Part of me doesn't like the spine whack test at all. Why do I say that? It doesn't reflect real life. You're not going to go around using a knife and whacking the back of it into things. It's randomly. You're going along, you're using a knife, all of a sudden you cut something and go, whack! Oh no, I hit something on the back of my blade and it closed on me. Damn. It just doesn't happen. But what the spine whack test is good for, if you don't go overboard, is to see if a little bit of vibration is going to make this lock come undone. So I do like a spine whack test if it's not a stupid, crazy, hard, going to town like a hammer. But, just, some whacking. Whacking is a strong word. Just some, significant tapping. Maybe tapping's a good word, but, some good tapping to see how it works. So let's check mine out. You can see mine is, I'll undo the lock. Very smooth action on this knife with washers. Oh, I love this. It's one of my smoothest knives. But there we go. Same shot. I'm going to do a little bit of a spine tap test. Let's move the camera down and cover your ears or take your headphones out. stop now. Have I done this long enough? Has it shown you the result yet? See all the dents in there? That's a pretty good vibration test. That's a pretty good accidental tap into something kind of test to see if it'll close. So yes, the access lock that Ganzo has made is pretty good. And they did a good job with it. I like how this one works. I have not had a single Ganzo with this style lock fail on a spine whack test. I've got over 24 Ganzos with access locks. I just got 3 of them right here. Not a single one that I've tested has ever failed that test. Okay, so that's this thing. There's some other stuff that I wanted to talk about too. Let's get on to that stuff. I also wanted to give a little update on myself. Having this knife channel is one of the best things that happened to me. I haven't been able to work now for about 5 years. About 5 years ago, my boss said, "You just can't do this anymore. You've become too slow at your work. You're doing okay work, but it's just taking too long." I was working as a computer tech, network tech, server tech, desktop support, all the basic computer stuff for a school division. I was looking after 4 different schools, and I couldn't do that anymore. So I got home on my butt. They said you might as well apply for permanent disability because you won't be coming back here. And I knew the writing was on the wall because my health had been deteriorating with my chronic pain for decades. This started when I was a teenager, when I hit puberty actually. And so I've had 13 surgeries on my knees. It's been going downhill for a long time, with a little bit of ups and downs too. Anyhow, it was getting so bad that I was sitting on my butt at home, doing next to nothing all the time, bored out of my tree, watching TV, doing nothing. And my wife said, "This has got to change." So she suggested we get a dog. And that's been a great change. Bandit's, he's sitting right next to me right over here. I always feel best in the morning, so I get up in the morning and take him for a little bit of a walk to do his business and stuff and keep my body moving, and that's good for me. And she said get a hobby, so this knife stuff's been great. Another thing that I want to do on my little odds and ends video is about these Ganzos, the newer ones that have these green lines that are supposed to, I guess, glow in the dark or whatever. Some people think they're kind of weird looking, kind of tacky, kind of funny. I'm going to find out, what can you do about them? Do they come off easily? Can you, if you do take them off, does it make a big mess? Does it look okay? Let's check that out right now. Actually, another thing that I wanted to mention, I think I've mentioned it in other videos and I want to make sure I do it again. These newer knives that have the blue anodized hardware, for some reason, the blue hardware seems to be softer than the hardware that they used before. I don't know why that is. Something about how anodization works or something. Who knows? In any case, be careful when you're using your torque screws to tighten or loosen these screws. The other thing is, most of their knives, it's not the right side, but the left side that you actually use to adjust the tension on the pivot. The right side is the side that gets the pocket clip by default. Although, in this position, it looks like this is the left side, right? But the side that doesn't have the pocket clip, just rule of thumb, is the side that you adjust to tighten the pivot on Ganzos. Not guaranteed, just try that side first. And if you can adjust your pivot that way, don't move any further. All right, let's get started on these little green lines. I'm just going to start picking at it and see what happens. Actually, let's be just a little safer. Oh, there you go. Aha, so that's how they made them. So what you've got is, I'll do a close-up here. That's what you've got for those little green lines. If you take them out, you're going to have a little trench. So it's your call. If you don't want those little green lines on there, you will have little accent lines. that will just be little trenches. It might actually give you some added traction. So you do what you want with that. They were obviously just press fit in there. There we go. They're not that hard to get out. Oops. Well, maybe I will destroy it. But remember, this is a this is a $20 knife, or give or take a tiny bit, right? So you've got these, 6 little notches there, and then now you've got those 3 there. So actually, I don't mind how that looks at all. Yeah, I really do think it looks better with these little green guys out of the way. And let's do a little test and see what these things are like. Do they work in the dark? Do they absorb light and give off light? Let's test that out right now. What we've got here is, this is an LED light system that I've got, and I don't think LEDs give off UV light, do they? So if these things require UV light to work, this probably isn't going to work, but I'm just going to let them get lots of bright light for a little while, and then we'll put them in a dark spot and we'll see. So I had them in light for quite a while, under a bright halogen light after I tried the LED. And so I just got a paper towel roll right here that I put over them. And then I put this, there it is, they're inside that paper towel roll. And then I'll put the camera down over top of it. And it should pick up the faintest light, right? Well, it picks up nothing. You're just looking at darkness down there. I've also heard from some people who've got the G749 from Ganzo, their second knife with bearings in it, that they're pinching their thumb. And they're having this problem because here's the liner arm that comes off for the locking, and here's some G10 on the side. And when you go to push the liner lock over to unlock it, they're getting their thumb pinched right in this little spot between here. The only thing I can say to that is perhaps you're pushing down too much while you're pushing over and not just pushing over enough. I didn't even think of that as a concern until I heard from some people that that's been happening to them. I just never pinch myself. I've got 2 of these knives, and I don't even think about it. I push it over, and I've just never pinched myself in that space. What I could say is, if you are pinching yourself in there and you've got this knife, take a little bit of a blade and take just a little bit of G10 off that edge there, or take some really fine sandpaper and just round this edge just a little bit right there. So here's my green one, the 749. Same kind of thing. I just have no problem at all, not even thinking about it. The lock just does not bother me at all, just the way I push on it. Good luck to you guys too. Shave that edge, make it just a little bit smoother right there. I'm also going to do a little bit of a video on what I do to break in a knife when I get it new. I don't do the exact same thing now that I've got a YouTube channel that I used to do. I used to treat my knives in a different way. I would get them new, and I would do some break-in stuff, things that I did to take care of them, get them into ship shape, if you will, into the kind of shape I wanted them to be. And that's what I'm going to show you. I do different things for a review. I tend to leave the knives as close to factory as possible and do my review that way so that you get the factory experience of what a knife is like when it's from the factory. And so I want to do a different video showing you, what do I do to optimize a knife to make it be the best that it can be for me. If you'd like a video like that, please let me know in the comments below. And the more responses I get, the higher up the priority list that video will get. I just wanted to say thank you so much for being part of this channel, being a viewer and a subscriber. And it's been a great year. I hope you had good holidays. And 2017 is going to be a wonderful year. I'm sure of it. And stick around. Remember, always cut towards your chum, the other guy, and not your thumb. Bye now.